Brian Lehrer on WNYC. And as I said before the news, once again, this membership drive, we're having a 10-question news quiz or news-related quiz right around 11 o'clock to break up all the seriousness and the fundraising with a little fun and give away some prizes. Today, it's a numbers in the news quiz. Get 2 in a row right and choose between a Public Radio Nerd mug or the Peace, Love, and Brian Lehrer t-shirt. Who wants to play? 212-433. WNYC 433-9692. And as I said earlier, the first question is so easy that I gave you the answer in advance. It's the number 250. See if you can figure out the question. And we're going to start with Becca in Long Island City. Hey, Becca, ready to play?
Yep, I think so.
All right. I gave the answer, 250. Did you figure out the question?
The birthday of the United States.
That is right. How old is our country? All right. So that was just to see if you were awake. And now question 2 for a t-shirt or a mug. In 2024, about a third of the voters in Tennessee voted for Democrats for Congress. How many Democratic districts would there be in the new gerrymander that the state approved last week? You got the question?
None.
None. 0 is correct. Would you like a Brian Lehrer, Peace, Love, and Brian Lehrer t-shirt or a Public Radio Nerd mug?
T-shirt.
Okay, we're going to take your address off the air, Becca. Thanks for playing. Let's go next to James in Los Angeles. Hi, James. Ready to play?
Good morning, yes.
Question 3 in this 10-question Numbers in the News quiz. Tennessee could do that, lock out all the Democratic voters and have 0 Democratic majority districts, because the Supreme Court last month gutted the Voting Rights Act, or at least that made it easier, removing the need for black majority districts to not dilute black voting power. What was the vote on the court?
Ooh, I'll say 6-3.
6-3 is right, and I thought people might know that because that is the standard split these days between the so-called liberal and conservative justices. So question 4 for the t-shirt or the mug. How many of the current Supreme Court justices were appointed by Donald Trump?
3.
3 is right. So you also win a Peace, Love, and Brian Lehrer Show t-shirt or a Public Radio Nerd mug. Which one do you want?
I'll take the t-shirt.
1 t-shirt heading coast to coast. Thanks for calling from L.A. today. Yeah, they are Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Coney Barrett, in case you didn't know. Catherine in Manhattan, ready to play?
Yes, indeed, I am.
Okay. Question 5 in this 10-question Numbers in the News quiz. In the New York City mayoral election last year, there were 3 major candidates dividing the vote: Zohran Mamdani, Andrew Cuomo, and Curtis Sliwa. True or false, Mamdani got a majority of the vote, despite there being 3 candidates? That is true. Barely, but true. Mamdani got 51%, Cuomo got 41%, Sliwa got 7%. Question 6 for a t-shirt or a mug. The tax the rich measure that Mamdani and Governor Hochul have agreed to would place a new tax on second homes in New York City worth at least how much money?
$5 million or more.
$5 million or more is right. You've been paying attention. Catherine, would you like the mug or the t-shirt?
Oh, I gotta have the shirt with all the fancy font on it. My goodness gracious.
Good, that's great. We'll take your size and your address off the air. Hang on. All right, Bill in Bayonne is next in line. Hi, Bill. Ready to play?
Morning, Brian.
Good morning, Bill. Question 7 in this 10-question Numbers in the News quiz. In New Jersey, one reason for high property taxes is that there are so many towns and school districts with their own local governments or school bureaucracies to fund to the nearest 100, and no accident that we went to you in Bayonne, a Jersey caller for this, to the nearest 100, how many separate towns or school districts are there in the state?
270.
Oh, Bill, that's not right. Thanks for trying, but the answer, remarkably, is 600 to the nearest hundred. I think it's 564 different municipalities and over 600 school districts. So that's the answer on that one. Let's see. Should we try? Who's next? Another Jersey caller is next. Sam in Englewood. Hi, Sam. Ready to play?
I am.
Did you know the answer to the last one, by the way?
I did.
Yeah. Maybe the previous call is an example of why it's so hard to get the consolidation to reduce the number of bureaucracies that some people want. People don't even know. All right, question 8 in this 10-question quiz. Something in the news this month just had its price lowered from $150 to $105. I'll give you a hint if you don't know it just from that. But do you know what item just got marked down from $150 to $105?
A barrel of oil?
That's interesting. No, it didn't hit 150 yet. It didn't go that high, the barrel of oil. So I'll give you the clue. It'll get you to a sporting event that will be happening in your state.
A taxi ride to the World Cup.
Oh, sorry, Sam, I can't accept it. It's not the taxi ride. It's the price for a round-trip NJ Transit train ticket from Penn Station to the World Cup soccer matches at MetLife Stadium. All right, 2 questions to go. Let's try Kevin in Woodside. Hi, Kevin. Ready to play?
Yep, I'm ready.
Question 9. The New York State Legislature just agreed to require automatic speed limiting devices in cars that have gotten more than a certain number of speed camera speeding tickets. How many speeding tickets of that type do you have to get before that speed limiting device is required by the state to be installed in your car? Is it 2 speeding tickets, 4, 6, or 16?
Oh boy, I'm gonna go with 16 here.
16 is right. Incredibly, to my eye, you have to get caught speeding 16 times before they will impose that speed limiter. So that's right. All right, question 10, the last question in the quiz, and for the mug or the T-shirt. The New York City Rent Guidelines Board has voted on a preliminary range of increases for next year's rent-stabilized leases. They'll set a final number next month. What is the least that the board says they might increase the rent?
I'm in a rent-stabilized apartment, so I'm well aware. Its lowest could be 0%, I believe.
That is exactly right, 0%, which means they might actually freeze the rent, as Mayor Mamdani promised to try to do in his campaign. It also might go as high as 2% for a 1-year lease, 4% increase for 2-year leases. They will decide next month. But good job, Kevin. Would you like the Love, Peace, and Brian Lehrer T-shirt? No, I said it wrong. Peace, Love, and Brian Lehrer T-shirt, or the Public Radio Nerd mug?
I'll take the much vaunted T-shirt.
1 T-shirt heading to Woodside. Hang on, we'll take your address off the air. That is our 10-question quiz for today. We'll do another one on tomorrow's show. That's going to be places in the news, and much more to come today. Stay with us.